Good morning, it's Babi Actif here today. We're doing some Pilates for restorative conditioning. So this is a Pilates session that you can do from 6 weeks to 6 months. All effective conditioning. So we're going to start that off in about 5 minutes. I've just put the camera on so that I'm in the box. I'm ready to receive your waves and see who's checking in with me this morning. It's a beautiful morning, isn't it? So we're going to be using a cushion, a band, or a ball, floor space. So have those things handy. Good morning, Charlotte. How are you doing? How's baby? So if you're like me and you've got a little bit of a runny nose this morning and it's quite hot, it's always a good option to just make sure you've got what you need handy. One of the tips that I'm offering in for people, well, like yourselves and like me, who are working with devices, is to set your device up in a place so that you can see and hear me well. So when I'm working on the floor space over there, I won't be able to see you because I'll be lying down. So when we go to the floor section, you can just bring your tablet with you to a point where you can still see me and hear me if you need to. If you've been training with me previously, then you'll know some of the movements that we're going to do, but it's always useful for you to have the right alignment when you're exercising so that you're not compromising, you're not taking anything out of your spine and alignment, which we really need. So we really want to make sure that our bodies are feeling aligned correctly, and that helps the muscles to work in more of a balanced way. So I'm just fiddling with my camera as well here, just to try and create a little bit of a better view there. So trying to get the 2 purple mats in if I can, because I'll be lying on across the purple mat space when you view me, but we will start standing. We've still got a few minutes left before we start. So we're finishing off with a bit of relaxation as well. Does look a bit wonky on there, doesn't it? Just look a bit wonky on there. It's not the room. It's just the camera. So I'm sorry about that. It's just the way the camera's been set up today. I'll show you some of my equipment while we're waiting to start. Hello, Jenny. Good morning, everyone. Give us a little wave. You can come into the box and then give me a little wave, and then I know exactly who's watching. Oh, I have another little fiddle, but I don't know if we're going to get any other joy out of the camera this morning with the new setup. That'll do for today, I think, in terms of setup. I'll show you some of the kit I'm using. So we've been practicing for the last couple of weeks, just noticing how much movement is happening along the midline. So these sessions are based on 6 weeks after a vaginal delivery, 12 weeks. We're happy to have you in the session after a Caesarean section, and we're targeting the 6 weeks to 6 months postnatal group in this session I am this morning. So I've been working on regaining connection here, and this is a tool that I've been using. Hello. This is a tool that I've been using. This is for my little ones to sleep in the car with, about 5 years ago on long journeys. So I might use that later on my tummy, and I'll also be using my hand to palpate along the midline and just feel any activities. So you can get used to giving yourself a little touch along your midline. If you haven't done that since having a baby, it's a really good way of just feeling your way through and feeling how soft the linea alba is there. And another way to contrast that, so you know what you're looking for, is to go and touch somebody else, maybe your partner, or if you've got children, you can also palpate along their midline. You can feel then, you can get them to laugh and activate the muscles and contract. You can get them, they probably want to laugh anyway, it's a bit ticklish, and then you can just feel the response there and how the muscles are working behind that area on your abdomen, and feeling that how that moves when you breathe, and when you begin to move your head, and when you begin to move your levers away from your midline, which is what we're doing today, you can notice how that tension is responding across that line, which is the weakened area of your abdominal network across the front of your body after having baby. So we're working on that. We're starting standing. Are we bang on time, are we? We started? Yes, we are. We're starting off. So I'm going to stand up now. And for the first bit we're doing is our posture check. So let's go with that. So I've got this ready. I've got a band, but you can use a rope. A pair of tights is good. Anything elasticating is particularly good. So heavy denier tights work really well for this. If people who don't have a band, I know that Amazon are selling out a lot of their kit, the fitness kit at the moment, but a band that we can pull is really good. But anything that gives you that little bit of traction, which helps you work, and this is just for your shoulder mobility today. So let's get ourselves set up. Let's just check our posture. So here, base of support. Feel your base of support. How does it feel? Just bring yourself up and down onto your toes. Bring yourself up and down onto your toes. Just notice how the body's bracing to do that. And this time we're going to shift our weight forwards and back. I'm just going to use my hands here, put them onto my tummy muscles, and so pressing gently, I can feel the muscles working behind. You may have to press quite firmly to get to feel what's happening there. You may really have to be quite firm. If you've ever been to had a massage, you'll know that sometimes they really do dig deep to get into layers, to connect to layers of muscle. So don't, as long as it's not painful, you know, give yourself quite a firm pressing, particularly around, well, from the sternum to the pubic bone, but particularly around the umbilicus. So pressing there. I'm leaning forward and backwards. You probably can't see me through my feet so well. What I'm trying to do here is set up a Pilates posture. So there are 6 principles of Pilates, and one of them is alignment. So I'm just feeling how my shoulders are down in their sockets. There's a wonderful space between my ears and my shoulders. And as I move forward, I can feel the muscles working behind my hand and then switching off here. Fabulous. We'll start with some arm floats. So if you want to just join in with the inhale to start with, inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, push the arms away. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, push away. I'm going to do that twice more. I'm just taking a big full breath in. I'm allowing this to expand like a balloon. And then I'm focusing on pressing back. Last one. So feeling the muscles contracting back towards the spine. So we're working now into the breath that becomes a lateral breath into the palms of the hands or into your lower ribs are here. And then we're finding your upper ribs. So see if you can find an upper rib position. And as you breathe in this time, keeping that frame up above, lifting through the posture, not extending via the rib cage. And as you're breathing in this time, you're keeping these muscles turned on enough to stop you blowing into your belly, into your breathing in. So this time your whole expansion of breath is in the rib cage and these muscles remain turned on. See if you can do 3 breaths, just inhaling, coming up onto your toes. Exhaling down. Rocking back if you're steady. Inhale into the hands, keep these muscles drawing to the spine. So they're braced all the time here. Sense of breathing and expanding through the rib cage. Fabulous. I'm going to add in an arm line. So the Pilates breath concentration today here, inhaling wide into the rib cage and bringing the tummy muscles back towards the spine on the out breath. We're working on that today. So lifting, exhaling. And if you're checking, seeing if you can draw your muscles away from your hand in this position. Let's do 2 more. Brightly spread your fingers, drop those shoulders. Try it with the other hand. Pulling the muscles away from your midline. Squeeze and feel as if there's a cinching towards where your button on your trousers would be. Pulling muscles deeply away from your hands, don't let go just yet. Last one. Fabulous. And then just give yourself a little side to side movement, allow your belly button to flop. Again, using the hand, notice if there's any muscles popping to the side, which we don't want. We want to take those muscles back towards the spine, feel them supporting the back of the body. And then we'll take our arm up and over. And again, anytime you want to be checking, you may see me move my hand here just to give you a bit of encouragement to do that. If you're fully comfortable and you have no protrusion along your midline, then why not just bring the hands with you all the way. Keeping both feet grounded on the floor, just lifted my toes up to connect the four corners of my feet to the earth. You might like to do that as well. Let's do one more each side. Lengthening through the body, keeping the feet connected. Notice the knees aren't locked, they're slightly soft. Giving your pelvis a little bit more of a neutral alignment. Fabulous. We'll do a little bit of open and close. So we're going to go with the thumbs up. So we're going to go breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in and out. Really feeling the muscles in the back of the body working too. Good, let's use the fingers this time for 4. Fingers are in. Squeeze the shoulder blade. Follow your own rhythm of breath here. Drop those shoulders back into their sockets. Really extend through the palms of your hands. As if you had rays of light coming out of each fingertip. Last one. Engaging those wrist extensors, biceps, triceps, and relax. Swing out, release. So releasing here, a little bit of a yoga swing. I'm going to just mobilise shoulders next. So to mobilise the shoulders, you can use thin air or you can use a band or a belt, bath robes that we've been using. So this is to open the chest, but it's a mobility exercise for your shoulders, and your shoulders have a strong correlation to your hips in this line here. So actually they're connected across through your body. So if you have really good open shoulders, it's really a good indication of your hip mobility. And it can release a lot of tension through your hip, which of course triggers a lot of release of tension through the leg of that hip. So I was just aiming for 3. We're on a short session. These little sessions are half an hour long. You can watch back after, if that feels okay. So a feeling of rinsing here, pain-free all the time. Movement should be feeling yummy. I'm taking it back where my body wants to go. The wider on the grip, the better. Lightly gripping that movement. Feeling that you're just releasing tension. Fabulous. Okay, so let's do a little leg lift. So transferring weight onto this leg. So this leg is now bent. So that means my hips are not sticking out and they're not tilting forwards. They're just in a neutral position, and I'm really working on this leg to support me. I'm trying to stack the shoulder on top of this leg, shifting the weight there and keeping that alignment on this side. I'm going to lift the leg. This is an action, abduction and adduction, and these range of the muscles on the adductors, they connect into the pelvic floor. So this kind of movement is a good movement for postnatal women in particular, or for everybody who wants to work on that area. So just have a play before going. Shift the weight onto that side and feel the movements. About the breath too much, just get the mechanical action right. Feel your hips, these bones in the pelvis, and the iliac crest here. Feel the top of your pelvis, and just notice if they're a little bit wobbly, if there's any discomfort there. If at all there is, of course, you don't want to take your leg into, if that's your maximum range for 100%, you'll be working below that 50% mark, don't you, to avoid any extra discomfort that's already there. And I would lower the foot down and lift in between each rep and touch the floor. For the people who have quite strong buttocks, quite steady and stabilised in the hip, you can afford to lift your leg up and not touch the floor in between each repetition. I'm also going to use my hand, okay? So for those who want to try it with the hand reaching up, can you see me there? Hands reaching up, notice that these shoulders are down in their socket, so that's unplugged. That's the shoulder out of the socket and that's plugged. Just do that one more time, reach up, that's unplugged, drop it down. So that muscle now is holding, these back muscles are holding the shoulder in place, and the muscles on the front of my shoulder are activated. If this feels a little bit too uncomfortable, you can bring your arm into this line. But we are going to use this arm on this action with the breath. So movement would be transferring weight down and up. But offer yourself some checking here on the midline. Why not? Let's do just 2 more to check that mechanical movement. If you're already very au fait with the Pilates breath, you would start to exhale there. And release. So thinking about how that movement feels, we'll just try it again on this side. So a little bit of mechanical play here. Reach up, unplug. Let's do that there. And take it back in. Unplug. Take it back in. Level off the shoulders. Extend through the arm. Arm is back in open sense here through the chest. Soften this supporting leg. Take the arm down to meet you. I'm going to do just 2 more. I'm just exploring the mechanical movement, and I'm aware of how my body's responding on the front line. That's it, and then relax. Have a little bit of an untwist. That is the movement we're going to do. We'll work with 6 each side, taking the breath with you this time if you can. So if you're feeling that you are, we've got a little routine going here, ready, steady or go. So ready people are the people who are just really feeling that they're getting connected to their balance. They may even need a bit of support there. So chair, something hip height, and you can do the abduction there. And then the people who are steady, they don't need support. So they're really working on their whole balance within this movement. And the people who are the go-go people, they're definitely the people who've got all things working for them and firing off there. All right, so let's start on this side. Bring the arm up and the leg away. Soften the knee, plug the shoulder back in. If you're looking to feel on the midline for support, you're going to inhale to prepare. We're exhaling for 6. Inhale, exhale. Keep that chest presenting forward. 4, 5, activate the arm. 6, bring itself back down. Here we go. So that's inhale, exhale. 3, activate that arm. 1 more. Should be challenging balance on that one, and it should be creating a level of focus. So focus is one of the principles of Pilates, so it's really giving you that time to, it's actually a very good mental break when everything else is around you happening, so it's a really good way of tuning back inwards with that mindful movement. We'll go again. This time I want you to think about, as you exhale, the pelvic floor, it comes up as you exhale, and we can talk about that another time. In another video, there is a great little video that I've got that I could put into a link for you actually, which shows you how the diaphragm breathes and what happens with the body in the respiration pattern that we have. So if you feel ready to connect to the pelvic floor, so you've got this double connection, haven't you? You've got the connection of the tummy muscles drawing to the spine, and then you've got the pelvic floor coming up and releasing. So have a feel of that if you feel ready. If not, it's just concentrating again, expanding through the rib cage on the inhale. Pull your muscles away from the palm of your hand on the exhale. Inhale to prepare. 6, 5, 4, soften that supporting knee, lift the chest. 'Activate the arm and leg. Come down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fabulous work. It's the yoga swing to release any tension in the sacrum. So it of course becomes an oblique exercise as you contract here. You can put your hand on the muscles on the side of your body and feel them working. Those deep oblique muscles are working there. So it's a great way to move because of course we live our lives standing up. We tend to do a lot of exercises lying down, which are great and useful, but when you start standing up and doing exercises, your muscles behave as if they would in everyday life. So it's a good way to work, to stimulate the muscles, to give them that optimised movement pattern and connection. Okay, so we've done a little bit on those. I think we're feeling good. We've got a ball squeeze next and an upper body movement. So last week we were doing the dumb waiter, like that. So these are important exercises to build your strength along the back line. So if you haven't got anything in your hands, then effectively you're just taking your palms behind you and your subscapular muscles are then moving. You can do this on your knees, you can do this on a chair if you're feeling like you need a bit of a sit down after standing and concentrating. And what I'm really working towards here is that midline, the rhomboid muscles and the traps all the way up the back and up to the neck. So your postural muscles on the back body, they become very long during the pregnancy, and in general Western society they're actually very kind of weak because of our forward postures that we tend to live in a very shortened position, don't we? From here, short here, long at the back. So to reduce that impact and in correction of your posture, we come back here. This is one of the exercises that we can do. So it's going to help you realign your posture. So I'm going to give you just short bursts of these because we're working in a half an hour. And then the idea is that you either learn them or that you can carry them on, or you can continue with me. That works with a squeeze. So we've been squeezing. This also works with a squeeze. And any ball will do, you know, Peppa Pig ball, superhero ball will work. So I'm going to give you straight away the two exercises together. So first of all, let's just do a squeeze with the ball. Let's do 3 squeezes with the Pilates breath. Lift the chest, inhale, squeeze, release, release. Fabulous. Now if you want to, does that feel good for you? Feel quite steady there? You can just turn your feet slightly in. So your muscles are already a little bit activated. So instead of having my feet completely facing forward to you, I've now just turned them in a little bit. So that set me on a little bit of a pre-activation on the gluteus maximus muscles. So if that feels comfortable for you and it's not causing any unusual sensations, you can start working there. Otherwise, you're just working here. And we're going to do upper body next. So holding, maintaining that position. I'm not really squeezing the ball, but my muscles are naturally activated to hold the ball. This is the movement. Inhale, exhale. That was 3. So it's rehearsing what we've done before. I'm stretching the band. You can have the band quite soggy in the middle, so your pair of tights or something that's quite stretchy and safe to use, or thin air. We're going to do 6 and we're going to squeeze and pull at the same time. Really concentrating on that exhale as we move. Let's inhale to prepare. Soften the knees, set the shoulders in their place. Ribcage isn't extended. Elbows are locked into the side of the body, activating the biceps. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Pull the muscles away from your waistband. Two more. Well, it's actually one more. Fabulous. Did that feel okay? We're going to come back and do another set of that. We're going to work on our bend to extend pattern in the meantime. Take a little bit of a break. Roll your shoulders. Should feel quite good. Feels really good for me, this. Everyday movement. Bend to extend. Bend to extend. Soften the knee. So this is coming from a gym exercise called the Good Mornings. Taking the hands lower to take pressure off the weakened back. And we're working on the bend and extend pattern, which we have to do every day. Bending down, picking things up. Noticing the muscles bracing towards the spine. Let's do 2 more. If you have the band with you, we'll employ a row. So I'm going to do 2 with a row. Just 1 more. And exhale there. So lots of preparation for movement in this session. Let's go back to that ball. We'll do another 6. Inhale to prepare. Muscles towards the spine. Exhale. 1 more. Expand into the rib cage. Fabulous. All right, we're doing great. Hold on to your cushion or your ball. We'll learn a bit of balance work before we go down on the floor. So here, so for the ready people, they're going to come down to a bend to extend and up. Ready, steady people. So levers activating there, changing the tension on the front body and working hard on the hamstrings here on return. The go-go ladies, they're going to try and transfer weight and they're going to reach. And I'm going to do 3 on each leg. So this is 1. 2. You can put your foot down in between each rep if you need to. 3. Other side. 1. Feeling the muscles working here. And back. Fabulous. We're going to drop our ball. We're going to think about standing up on one leg for a small stretch here. Let's try that one. So you support. Ready people. Steady people. Finding a little bit of balance and buoyancy there. You might like to grab your earlobe if you heard that one before. Other people here, go people here. Just aiming to shift the knee back towards the aligned other knee and then push through the hips. Push the foot into the hand and then relax. See how you feel with this. Asking the body just to release any tension. Just releasing any tension. Push the hips slightly forward and tilt. And then for anybody who needs a bit of support again, ready steady people, just going to cross that leg over. So if you've had any pelvic concerns for this one, you could do this in a chair, which is more comfortable. So I'm stretching this outer band of muscle on my hips. So sitting back down. So this is for those who are very steady on their feet and the go-go people. Otherwise you're using a chair or you're using support. And coming back here, give your hips a little wiggle and twist. I'm just going to go down onto the floor. Just got a couple of more minutes on my watch. I'm just going to have a quick drink and see who's anybody watching there. Thank you for joining me this morning. Apologies for a slightly wonky screen. Okay, so on the floor, let's go down onto the floor. So practicing going down on the floor. Mamas who are very, very strong have been coming down to the floor maybe already. Coming down to the floor like this. This is the ladies who've been practicing through the pregnancy and those who are fitness experienced. Anybody else can just take yourself into a lunge either forwards and backwards and then come down that way. Just a great way to practice everyday movement. You will be doing that numerous times a day, as most mums will know, so it's a good practice to give you that steadiness. Onto your back for this one. Take a cushion with you if you want to. Just feel that the cushion is going to stay relatively stable throughout. So we're only going to do a short practice on this one today. We'll carry on with this next week. So we've been working on feeling that we're inhaling through the rib cage. Spread those shoulder blades out onto the floor, lengthen the neck, tuck the chin in for you. So as you can see, belly rising. The alternative way to breathe with the Pilates breath, inhaling through the hands, expanding into the hands, inhaling into the hands. And then contracting on the exhale. So not filling air into this area. That's the belly breath. So let's just try 3 breaths, inhaling. and try and keep this down. Try and keep this from moving upwards. Barely breath to just show the difference again. Fabulous. So working just 1 or 2 repetitions here to line you up. I'm trying to get my knee above my hips. If I had a meter ruler, it would come and show you the length here. So I'm really trying to keep that leg in line. So if you feel any discomfort here, any pulling or tugging, this is probably it's not an exercise for you to do, and you might want to just bring yourself up and down into a toe tap. So that would be a great place to start here. So 6 repetitions of that is enough, and try and notice if you can keep your tummy muscles involved. So toe tapping, beginners. Feeling across your midline. I'll give you 6 of those each leg today just to have a little bit of play. Everybody else who wants to have a go, then maybe start using their arms. So let's just work with the legs static today. And we'll do 6. We'll inhale here. Exhale, keeping the legs still, sorry. So my arms are floating off the floor as if I was kind of making a big angel in the sand. At the beach, this is 4. The arms are off the floor. The shoulder blades are moving. Back is connected to the floor, and the leg is trying to stay in place. Tummy muscles engaged all the time. That was 6. Release that down, try the other side. So have a go at the knee above the hip for me. And then feeling, inhale, exhale. Trying not to get that teddy bear to come up. So if I do that, then my muscles are relaxed. I'm pulling them down again. Inhale. Hoping my knees in alignment. This is 4. Stretch through the fingertips. Tuck that chin in so you feel lovely length through the spine. Last one. And then just bring one knee onto the chest, the other knee onto the chest, and rotate those ankles. We've finished for today's connection to the breath, working on our alignment. Have a little bit of a hamstring stretch if you need one. This go to here. This is just to release any tension. You may want to just lift that leg up once or twice on each leg. And hip tilts are also good. If you're finishing off here, we're going to go over to the other group today, and we're going to have a little bit of chat on our little chat group in the private Babi Actif group. We're going to chat about our home space again, and about how to avoid injuries during our time in lockdown. So pelvic tilting or a swish swish will do nicely here. And then I'd encourage you to roll to the side to bring yourselves up to seated. I'm going to take 3 breaths to finish off on this. Apologies, I've gone slightly over. So sitting up onto your bottom, you can use something to elevate your bottom, a cushion. Or you can sit on a chair. So today we're going to just do 3 inhale, exhale, focused, breathing. And what we're going to do is imagine and envisage that you can do this with children if you've got children watching, breathing in and then breathing out. So depending on how you want to do that, the visualization that comes with that is a rainbow. So we're doing a rainbow breath. So you could have your arm coming up over the rainbow to breathe with the arm. Children like to do that one. They might like to breathe in the rainbow and out of the rainbow. So I encourage you to do that in the way that you feel comfortable. And what we're trying to do is go over the rainbow maybe for a 4 count, and then come back over the other side of the rainbow for about 6 on the exhale, so slightly elongating the exhale on that. So I'm going to come with my hands soft, shoulders relaxed, very light feeling across my body. You can gaze down to the floor. You can keep your eyes open. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling, let the tummy go. And one more. And then bringing your hands to rest on your body. We've reached the end of today's session. Thank you for joining me so far for our Pilates, Babi Active, Mum and Baby Pilates this morning. Hope you feel stretched, a little bit looser, a little bit longer, a little bit calmer, and ready for the weekend. I'll see you on the other side. Please come over, join me, and have any questions ready, and I'll talk to you about how to avoid injury during lockdown. See you soon.